Yeah, this is going well. Quick reminder, this is like your last chance. We've got the raffle back there and the tickets, Nicky Giovanni. Raffle's more important because we're going to do the drawing after this reading. You should sign up now. Okay. Yeah, this has been so good. But it's not over yet, and oh my goodness, Paula Mendoza, about to come up and read. Paula was a reader in the series back in November, or something like that, October, November. She is a graduate of the University of Michigan, also writes reviews of poetry for Scout. Blogs for Michigan Quarterly Review, and you can find her poems in Bat City Review, Washington Square, Diagram, and also, just like Ryan Sharp, Pank. Yeah, exactly. And that after she read, she's going to read from the chapbook. It's going to be amazing. But we got to talking about Lynn Heginian, who's one of like the foremost language poets in that school of thought. And, we're just kind of going back and forth on and on. And I was reading some Lynn Heginian not too long ago and found these lines. And I only changed one word, but thought I'd read these Lynn Heginian lines to like bring her up on stage, which are, "So I am going like a proper host to introduce the reader because culture does not fall into the arms of the first comer." Paula Mendoza.
Setting my timer, excuse me guys. Hi all.
Howdy.
Before I begin, I want to thank Malvern Books for hosting this event. Establishments like Malvern Books, Women, Resistencia, that don't just hawk product, they open their space for events like these are so necessary. It's how we claim a community and how writers otherwise resigned to their personal caves can get out and find light. And so thank you to, I don't know if this lady can count it, but we should thank her and buy many books. Thank you, Wade and AR, for hosting this. And I thank you guys for your time and energy, and because I realize that there's this work and then there's the work that pays the bills, so I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I want to thank Ryan and Fatima for your beautiful work. That was incredible. I feel enriched by y'all's words, so thank you. And last but not least, I want to thank Clementine and Will's not here. David. Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know your name.
I'm Chris.
Chris, and everyone else involved with Raw Paw. You guys are just fucking cool. It's incredible, the music, the art, the events that you guys put out, the goodness that you guys put out into the world. It's great. I'm deeply grateful, and I'm so glad you guys exist. So thanks. And, so I'll be reading from my chapbook put out by Raw Paw. Check out how cool that is. It's called All Slither. And I'll be reading from a few other pieces from the project as well. And All Slither, the title derives from a rather obscure quotation by Ezra Pound when he was describing the work of H.G. So I'm just going to read that quotation. It's in the graph to the book. This is the sort of American stuff that I can show here in Paris without it being ridiculed. Objective, no slither, direct, no excessive use of adjectives, no metaphors that won't permit examination. It's straight talk, straight like the Greek. So that's Ezra Pound and H.D. And as much as I admire the work of H.D., his characterization has always kind of irked me. And so I love this quote, or more accurately, I love hating on this quote, because I feel there's a lot of value that lies on the work that that exists on the other end of the Pound spectrum, and work that is all slither and that is just teeming and busting at the seams with adjectives and torture syntax and all the lovely opacities and thoroughly crooked and twisted lines. This chapbook collects my poems that celebrate that kind of density and excess, and it's all gore and feelings and a kind of petulance and anger that I hope comes across as less brat and more wholehearted, complex, and love-filled bitch. So without further ado, The Birth of Sleeping Beauty. Sleeked jet, feline already, her descents a slinky obscene with gravity, rawest bring down the best of floors. She bunnies her body fetal, askance the girl shook with qualm and tectonic affliction. You should know was you who'd done this to her. For sexually light apprised, her selving through Venetian slips into tear and trace. She holds up a taxonomy. The butterflies are angered in their jars. All her doings compelled by a fevered and haptic grammatimus. From her sentence she will learn to divest or perish. She will learn to situate the scintillation. In the gollied and danged hereafter, unlovers unanimous suplex muck rakes the Adirondacks. No sooner then will she make. Imagine galleries and galleries for the oeuvre of her. Despoilers gawk and unzip. Matrons harangue. Unlovers strew lily wilt and sticky rice underfoot. Under God bespeaks her kneel. Under God these Parises sunder. You bless her, I bless her. All together, bless her, bless her, bless her. She describes for him very slowly. And this was actually a dream I had. All right. The tall man filling receptacles with substances that resemble you, that is, substances of you, and you grow quietly certain that they are you. Swatches of thigh, carved atria, hair by the strand and nest, assorted fingers and blood, mostly blood. Jars and jars of blood, platelets matched to vials of every convolution, each pit and furrow of memory, sops of gray meat. Your blood is cataloged by the breath which shimmered or seethed, by what press of flesh effervesced or congealed it to radiant viscosities, what thinned or thickened that crimson, as in, this specimen is the first time you fell in love, hated your mother, held an infant, wanted to kill yourself, etc. There are many jars. There is a lot of blood. The taxonomy does not arouse terror, and you are not afraid for the idiot pulp of you to be archived or articulated. Still, an arctic terror rises and sours in the back of your throat, pricks some skin to zero. This terror derives from the tall man. The tall man is a hypothesis of wonder and fear. I am afraid of this man, I call out. The glass swallows every syllable. I call out. My tongue, a fat slug, shines in the dirtiest jar on the farthest shelf, and my eyes, in the cleanest one, look on. This one is my last wickedness. For the Tsar eats me raw. For his last love letter, a tune plinked xylophonic on the bars of his cage. For devil slipped in skin, and left of my heart, his fingers drummed the snare of my ribs. Sex as minuet, flute of throat, fleet of thought. Kiss me here, I will not. Here? Mark maps some man's bombast, maddest music you're naming. Home, what a word transforms landscape. Where the body is, buried, gabled, heather, dew-damp, foxfire. Will you kiss me? There, there. Oh, stigmatic, I marvel at your redundant wounds. I salve each sting with honey and spit. Drink, vinegar, vinegar for my parched. Breached, wet and shuddering, I did not see the queen for all her bees. Sacrum hives of fire snarl. You are water, water, everywhere. The next two poems are from a longer series, and they're essentially poems that I'm sure the writers among you in the audience have all written, the poems that we write to exorcise a love. So the title of this one is, this is the last poem I'll ever write about you. 1. Eyes can hardly recollect, they dilate so saucerly, I'm moon gone on thinking over it, I'm over it, I'm not. I am not. What classifies a poor excuse? Of what little use this thing we name a heart? It has been before you knew we have no future together. No sad alternate this graceless fact. I want you back or here or over there on the shelf next to the jar pickling my tongue. Had I never greened undone, armored to naked in seconds flat at the dead blue look of you. Believe me, my love is true, or anyway, that's what the humans say when they have nothing left. This is the last poem I'll ever write about you. 3. Narcissus is a wrong story. Still, where farther inward else but self? Problems letting go the swoon of my fret for you, its gooey goodness. I guess we sicken eventually, inevitably. I guess I'm sick of the nothing I keep rising above water to breathe in and, well, nothing. It's easier to be sucked in by groundswell. It's easier to spend a weekend fucked to sore and jelly need with no heart to stand a head on. I could go on and have and probably will, lacking it. Heteronomous, I lack faith too in mastery, that eye-gouging illusion, studded with turrets, towers, skyscrapers, complete penile control, and something about lasers or sabers or knives. Anatomically correct ego's a lie, is grossly misproportioned. See, her eyes are too big and her yes too. But we're farther forward than you. So I keep saying yes, and I say pour, and I say shine and honey, and again I say so many words because I like rubbing them to a pilled velveteen nap. I like to rub and rub and rub the words to softnesses. Maybe I am making up for your corners. Maybe I am making up the reason for this habit, which you may have become, among other things. A color, a tyrant, a figment, a catalyst. And, just a couple more, 3 more?
Yeah.
Short babies. When skies are gray, betweens the murk. What warmth we scavenge, perishable as any body. Know a fox elision, not liaison. E.g., mon ami, mon amour. Do not mistake me. Days only tilt and spin. Abstracted, what the sun does, we will call morning. What it doesn't, night. The show. When it becomes suddenly awful, give me your hand. The laughing won't let up. I'm sorry, you chorus, and the mezzanine rises to their feet. All they've thrown are thorns. Make roses of the soles of your feet. And laughing, laughing everywhere. The stage grows slick, crimson, slippery. Give me your awful hand, your entire trembling body. Let them hold you shaking. You are shaking. You are awful. Give them the roses they've asked for. And last poem. Thanks again. That looks so beautiful. Gosh, I'm here. All right. Since you said stop me if. I said for you I am smooth and tight and sleek with hit. Say that again. With hit, sorry. Take two. You said stop me if. I said for you I am smooth and tight and sleek with heat. You said I like you a lot. Whiz, bang, yawn. I get tired of telling this story. You wish I were dead. I lost it all in a joke. 2 shiners, a cracked rib, all for the girl raked thin and dug like a hoe. You didn't want her objectified or dead even, only me because you lost my love in a joke. The night my door shut, he shouted behind it, "You're sick, and this isn't funny." I told him she hid the laugh track in her sleeve. All along they thought it was a heart. A girl, a man, and a ghost walk into a room. I don't get it, he says. You won't, she promised. Thanks.
All right, and this is going to be going on all weekend, all across town. Readings just like this. Walk into a random coffee shop, you're going to run into something like this. So please partake. Check out the website, look up the schedule. There's no reason not to keep on having wonderful evenings like this together. So,
All Slither is on the back table for immediate purchase, and it should be purchased immediately because it is beautiful inside and out. Thank you again.
Yeah.
That was wonderful. And as promised, we're gonna do the drawing. That's my favorite part.
do you want to?
I want to draw.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm really sad about the amount of names in this cup also.
Yeah.
I want to say.
More names. More names. Make some up next time.
Mackenzie Palmer.
Oh my God.
Hey!
All right, so you are getting that man's chapbook. And another raw paw zine that I don't think is in production anymore.
That's number 4, yeah.
Okay.
Highly coveted.
Yeah.
And a raw paw sticker because everyone likes stickers.
Yeah.
Well, I think we are done proselytizing the word of poetry. Or the
Next month is going to feature Laura Gooley and Ebony Stewart. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be great.
Take that reaction as a cue. Be here.
And be here.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, considering it's National Poetry Month, I haven't done the math because I don't do math. Rapa hosts, I'm gonna say 14 literary events per month. 7 to 8 of those of which are poetry. just poetry, you know, just like this whole wall, not a big thing.